Hi guys, this is Perry Angela from Bluebonnet Love, and we decided to try something different this year. We are so busy trying to find Texas bluebonnet fields for y'all that we decided it was much easier just to make a weekly video highlighting what we found from the previous weekend's bluebonnet road trip. So here's what we've got for the weekend of March 22nd and 23rd. We visited Brenham, Texas, known as a bluebonnet hotspot, as well as a center for wildflower fiesta, and boy did they have them. Now, bluebonnets are still a little bit early, so you guys don't get so excited that you gotta take the kids out of school and put them in the car and rush off to Brenham. We think you still have another 2 or 3 more weeks before the bluebonnets get going. But who's arrived to the wildflower fiesta but Indian Paintbrush, and they are putting on a show like no other show they've put on in the last several years. They are all over the place. So if this upcoming weekend is the only weekend you can make it to Brenham, we still recommend going. You'll see lots of different Texas wildflowers and with a sprinkling of Texas bluebonnets too. So what you want to do, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper. You might want to have a map handy because we're going to give you roads that we recommend to drive to see the Texas bluebonnets and other wildflowers. And we're going to tell you where the kid-friendly fields are. Also, for those of you who followed us for the last several seasons, we went by some of those fields that we've all come to know and love, and we'll give you a status update of those as well. So, like we said before, it's still a little early for Brenham, okay? So don't go there expecting big stands of bluebonnets. Another thing is the bluebonnets are blooming small. They set out rosettes and the cold came a little too soon this year. So their rosettes and their plants are on the small side. Then once the warm weather came along, the plants are more interested in getting their blooms out so they can get pollinated than they are in trying to produce a bigger, greener plant. So what does that mean for us? It means that they're blooming shorter, okay? And if they're blooming shorter, it gives the grasses more of a chance to get ahead of them. So that's the thing what we're dealing this year. What we've seen in most of Texas, now it might be different down in the DeWitt County and southeast of San Antonio, and also Corpus Christi. But the rest of the state, we're seeing kind of small rosettes and stuff, and then we're seeing short blooming stalks. So that's just something to keep in mind. But they are out there. There's no doubt about that. They're out there. Okay, so scenic roads. We highly recommend Highway 6. We traveled north of Highway 290 to Navasota. Very, very pleasant. Guys, do not expect to be able to stop and take photographs on this highway. It is a very high speed, high traffic, 18-wheeler highway. It is not safe to pull off to the side of the road to take photographs. If you decide to put your life at risk, please do not put other people's lives at risk. Do not be a traffic hazard. So as you're getting back on the road, make sure you triple, quadruple check your side mirrors and your rearview mirrors. It is a very dangerous highway. So just expect it to be a drive-by one. Just enjoy them. Just have a good time. Don't worry about stopping to take pictures of them. All right, we also heard that the stretch on Highway 6 between Navasota and College Station is also gorgeous too. We did not personally travel it, but we heard on Twitter and Facebook that it's just as nice. Okay, second road you want to hit is FM 1155 north of Chapel Hill. Very pleasant. Lots of different Texas wildflowers with some sprinkling of bluebonnets. There is one particular place in the road where you're going to come down a hill. You're going to make a little bit of a turn, and there's going to be anywhere from 10 to 15 acres of this really cute yellow daisy completely covering the field. You will be stunned. It is beautiful. It's amazing. All right. There's also places where there's different fields and stuff of Indian paintbrushes that you can actually kind of pretty much park the car pretty safely and then get into those fields and take photographs. You guys, don't trample the flowers while you're out in the fields, okay? Watch where you step, stand, and sit. All right, then the third really nice road that we traveled was FM 1935. This is an FM that comes off of FM 390, which is kind of known as the Bluebonnet Loop around Brenham. So look on the map. It's between Highway 105 and FM 50, and it comes off of FM 390. And between Kettler Road and Lone Star Road on that FM is very pleasant. I mean, Indian paintbrushes, all sorts of different flowers. You've got the phlox going. It's very nice. And there's also a field with a windmill and hay bales out there for those photographers that just want a nice classic Texas image. Also, on FM 390, there are 2 herds of longhorns on both ends. So the one closest to FM 1935 is just east of Seward Plantation Road. It is on the south side of the road. So make sure you look in that direction. And it's a herd of anywhere from 15 to 30 head of cattle. And there's baby longhorns too. So they're always so cute. Okay, let's get on to the kid-friendly fields. Number 1 kid-friendly field in the Brenham area is the Walmart field. This is located on Woodbridge, which is, Walmart is located on the intersection of Highway 36 and Highway 290. Next to Walmart, a distance down the road, is the La Quinta. And then also on the other side of Walmart, behind it, is a Home Depot, I believe, something like that. But anyhow, there's a road called Woodbridge that goes behind that area. And there is a very large field of Texas bluebonnets. Now, the entire field is not covered with bluebonnets, but there are very large patches of a thick blanket of bluebonnets. They were just starting, so they've got another 2 or 3 more weeks on them for that field. And it's a safe place to park and get the kids out and get the kids in the bluebonnet field pictures. So it's good. That's your number 1 choice for a kid-friendly field. Also, for bluebonnets, when you come into Washington County on the eastern side of the county, right when you cross the Brazos River, there is the big stone "Welcome to Washington County" welcome sign. There's a hill there, and the bluebonnets are covering the hill. So it's very nice. We don't recommend it as a kid-friendly field because it's right there on Highway 290, but for adults and teenagers, those who know not to run into the traffic, it's perfectly fine to pull off and get pictures in the hill of bluebonnets there. Now, there's all that traffic on Highway 290, so those bluebonnets are going to be trampled pretty soon. So you guys really watch where you're stepping, okay? Don't trample the bluebonnets. They can't, you have to understand, if you trample the bluebonnets, they can't set seed. And if they can't set seed, there's no more bluebonnets in the future. So really pay attention to that, okay? All right, now there's another kid-friendly field. It's at the intersection of FM 50 and Highway 105, just north of the city limits of Brenham. It is a big triangular field. And it has a lot of bluebonnets, no, not a lot of bluebonnets, a lot of Indian paintbrushes and then bluebonnets interspersed. That is a place that you can safely pull off to the side of the road and get into the field. We did not see any notice. So we didn't see a fence line, we didn't see a posted sign, and we didn't see a no trespassing sign. If you come across one, then know that that's notice and that you need to leave the premises immediately, okay? So you guys don't trespass. We don't need to have a bad reputation when we go out looking for our bluebonnets for trespassing on people's property. All right, then the next kid-friendly field in the Brenham Independence area is, of course, our old standby, Old Baylor Park. That's located in Independence, Texas, at the intersection of FM 390 and FM 50. All right, here's the deal with Old Baylor Park for those of you who have been there. We didn't see very many bluebonnets, but there's lots of other Texas wildflowers. So don't go there expecting a big old field of bluebonnets because they weren't there when we were there, and when we were there over the winter, we did not see any rosettes in that park by the ruins, okay? Now, there were bluebonnets on the hill as you come up to the park from the east, and there's that Historic Association's Visitor Center, and then off to the right, there was a hill. There were bluebonnets on that, not a thick carpet at that time. But another thing is, across from the ruins, across FM 390 at the corner of Helmer Road and FM 390, there's a lot next to a house, and it's got lots of Indian paintbrushes in there, and then a few bluebonnets here and there too. Keep in mind that is private property, but we did not see a notice. So if you get onto the property and no one tells you to get off, then be nice. So anyhow. So also in the Brenham area for kid friendly is the Washington on the Brazos State Park. They did have little bluebonnet patches, and it is a place where you can park, you can get the kids out, it's kid friendly, it's pet friendly, all that stuff. So that's another great location when you want to get pictures of the kids in the bluebonnets. All right, so for those of you who've been following us for the last several seasons, we have some very popular fields in the area. You're not going to like what we have to say. So we did stop off at what we all know as the Highway 6 Navasota field, which is located just south of the intersection of Highway 6 and FM 1227. Guys, it did not look good. The grasses, there's dead grasses. They're very tall. There are bluebonnets in the field on the north end up by the hay bales that were still there from last season. But you could barely see them. All right. Now, last year that field bloomed from the north up by the hay bales where it's blooming right now, and then did a wave. It bloomed in a wave all the way down to the southern end of the field. So it just didn't look good. Okay, we will try to eventually put some video up, but we're going to call that a no-go. For the amount of traffic on that part of the road to get into that field and it not look as nice as it does, it's not worth it. Okay, it's a no-go field. Don't go there. And then Whitehall at the intersection of FM 2988 and FM 362, we got to say we were a little disappointed. The blanket's not really thick throughout the field like it was last year. Now, there were plenty of plants, so even though we got there early, things could change. I mean, it's not like we know, we got an inside line to Mother Nature wondering. I mean, it's a guessing game for everybody around here. But anyhow, there was Indian paintbrushes in it and stuff, but the grasses and the dead grasses were ahead of it again as well. So approach that one with caution, ratchet down your expectations, and it might be pleasant to you. For those of us who've seen things like Mock Road, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, that was nice. But okay, so then guys, here's the one you're definitely not gonna like. The Chapel Hill North Field on Highway 290 and the Chapel Hill South Field on Highway 290, the ones that are next to the Rustic Center and then the ones next to the model homes, no go. There are bluebonnets in those fields, but they're so short and the dead grasses are so long. Now, of course, everything can change. We can't predict the future. We cannot predict what Texas bluebonnets are going to do, but based on what we saw, we really don't know how the bluebonnets can get up above the tall dead grasses that are already there. So anyhow, we wouldn't bother stopping by. So, it's your choice. So we're calling those no-go fields as well. So not good news on the known fields, but definitely good news on the Walmart field. Definitely good news on the FM 50 and Highway 105 field, the Washington on the Brazos State Park, as well as Old Baylor Park for different Texas wildflowers and not necessarily Texas bluebonnets. So that about wraps it up for this week's update. This weekend, tomorrow, we are flying out of Washington, D.C. and coming into Austin. And then we are making our way down towards Floresville, southeast of San Antonio. We're going to do Lavernia, Adkins, Poteet, and then hopefully be able to swing over to Cuero and Victoria and toward DeWitt County. DeWitt County is known as the wildflower capital of Texas, and there's a reason for it. They definitely are the wildflower fiesta center of Texas. So we've seen some really great photos come across Twitter and Facebook as well. So we're definitely excited about that trip. So we will try to put out next week's video on Wednesday if we could possibly do it. We might still use our kitchen as our backdrop. We were surprised at how pretty it wound up being. We definitely are going to have to get some lighting in here. I'm sorry about the window behind me. But anyhow, we hope it'll be fun. We hope you guys enjoy the video, and we hope you got a lot of great information from it. So it was nice talking to you, and we will talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Hope to see you in the fields.